For the whole month of April, we're taking 20% off the Wharfedale Heritage range and pairing each purchase with a free whiskey set. That's this beautiful decanter and twin glass set, all with Wharfedale etched into the glass itself. And this is paired with the Linton, and this set of single glass and whiskey stones paired with the Dentons. Now, it's not exactly a stretch to make this Wharfedale whiskey connection. I mean, tweed, dark mahogany, and elbow patches immediately come to mind when I think of heritage. And who doesn't enjoy a dram while they're playing their favorite music, right? But beyond the more obvious reasons for pairing whiskey and heritage loudspeakers, there are in fact some acute similarities taking place. For example, the aging process of whiskey allows for the development of complex flavors and aromas that can't be replicated in younger whiskies. Similarly, the aging process of Wharfedale's Heritage series produces tonal characteristics and sound qualities that can't be replicated in modern loudspeakers. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hang on, Matt. Like, these are brand new speakers. What aging process are you talking about? And at the surface level, you're absolutely right. But the aging process of Wharfedale's Heritage series is not represented in the age of the loudspeakers themselves, but in a number of their key design principles. These principles have been around since the 60s, and it's these principles, aged over many decades, that make Wharfedale's Heritage line such a delicious drop. While much of the world may have moved on from big box loudspeakers with wide baffle fronts, Wharfedale's Heritage has bucked the trend, and for a few key reasons. The audible benefits of wider baffle fronts, larger speaker drivers, and larger cabinet. These design elements combine to produce a flavor entirely unique to the Heritage range. Wider baffle fronts can improve dispersion, which can result in a larger and more immersive soundstage with better localization of instruments and vocals, and that's certainly the critical response that both Denton and Linton received. Andrew Robinson fawned over the 85th anniversary edition of Wharfedale's Denton, in particular their laser imaging properties.
The image that they present is amazing, especially when it comes to creating a phantom center. These speakers can orally disappear with some of the best.
Randy, aka the Cheap Audio Man, one of my favorite YouTubers, was so taken with the Linton's ability to place instruments in space that he very openly asked Wharfedale if he could buy the speakers that he'd been sent to review.
The other thing that's remarkable about this speaker is its ability to place things in space. Its ability to divide the back end of the soundstage into different levels and put musicians and things at different levels. The immersive experience of this speaker is truly amazing.
In addition to their improved soundstage and imaging properties, wider baffles have greater real estate to accommodate larger speaker drivers and larger cabinet volume. These larger drivers improve bass response, they increase power handling, they play louder, have more dynamic range, and are less likely to distort at higher volumes. All major benefits to consider when you're purchasing your next loudspeaker. And larger cabinet volume is quite literally a larger radiating surface area that in turn offers a deeper, more full-bodied and room-filling audio experience. But like larger drivers, larger cabinets also significantly increase a loudspeaker's bass response, producing stronger and punchier low end. And again, that's certainly the critical response to both Denton and Linton. Joe and Tell was greatly impressed by Denton's bass capabilities.
This sounded to me like what you'd expect from something with a much bigger cabinet, with something with a minimum of an 8-inch woofer. That's how low the bass went on these, and that's how authoritative the bass was.
And while Randy, aka the Cheap Audio Man, thought that the Linton bass response was pretty damn impressive, it was in fact the detail and the resolution of that bass that he favored most.
So the bass is not like super intense as far as amount, but the texture, the detail, the resolution pretty impressive, especially with percussion.
But the aging process of whiskey is by no means its only benefit. There's the luxuriousness of aged whiskey, with some rare bottles highly sought after, fetching extremely high prices at auction. And there's the associated traditions and history of certain distilleries that have produced whiskey for decades, even centuries. So you're not just buying a whiskey, you're purchasing a piece of history too. And these same benefits apply to Wharfedale's Heritage series. There's an unquestionable luxuriousness to the true timber finishes of both Denton and Linton. These veneers have a way of catching everybody's eye.
Now, I don't think that I am alone on an island here when I say I think the Dentons are gorgeous. In their walnut finish, they actually remind me of little mini Heresy Mark IVs, and that is never going to be a bad thing, at least not to me.
Gorgeous speakers. Gorgeous speakers. Beautiful.
And there's all the associated history and tradition of these Wharfedale models. Both the Denton 85th Anniversary Edition and the Linton Heritage 3-Way are reimagined remakes of classic Wharfedale models from the 60s and 70s. So you're not just purchasing a pair of loudspeakers here. You're purchasing a piece of Wharfedale history. You're buying a slice of the Wharfedale legacy, a legacy that extends to the early 20th century. And that makes owning a pair of these gorgeous loudspeakers a special investment indeed. In the end, sure, you could choose to see this as a baseless marketing pitch designed to entice you to buy loudspeakers, but I think it's fairly clear to say that there's far more to the Wharfedale Whisky Association than you may have first thought. They're both aged to produce certain notes that modern products can't touch. They're both endowed with an unmistakable luxuriousness. And they're both steeped in rich traditions, allowing people that love either whiskey or high fidelity audio to not merely purchase a product, but to buy into a piece of history. A sample of the legacy belonging to that brand or manufacturer. And that's a tasty offer. So if you're looking to snag yourself a pair of the Wharfedale Heritage loudspeakers, either the 85th Anniversary Edition Dentons or the award-winning Linton 3-Ways at an incredible price, plus nab yourself a snazzy little whiskey set, then head on over to avrevolution.com.au. Links are in the description. But you'll have to hurry. This offer is only for the month of April 2023 and conditions apply. If you're interested in checking out the full reviews referenced in this video, links are available in the description below, and we certainly recommend that you do. Each of those guys are both entertaining and informative, and their channels are well worth subscribing to if you don't already.